Hello, class. How are you today? In this opportunity, we will continue developing the same topic as in the previous video related to the unit number 1, which is hygiene. This time we are going to work with reading comprehension. So I am going to ask you to have with you your copybook and a pencil. As I told you, we will continue with the unit 1 called hygiene. And just to remind you, this was the topic of last video. Elements to fulfill a good hygiene. We have the bucket, the disposable gloves, the clinical waste disposal bag, soap dispenser, the sink, and others. We also talked about the concept of hygiene. Remember that this is the degree to which people keep themselves or their environment clean, especially to prevent disease, or the practice or principles of keeping yourself and your environment clean to prevent disease, of course, or the care and attention in yourself and in your environment to keep it clean and also to prevent diseases. So remember that we said that hygiene is any protocol people do to maintain health and prevent diseases. So now we are going to talk about the nurse job, especially in these kind of situations of hygiene. So I want you to answer in your copybook these two questions. It says, in the hospital and clinics, in your neighborhood, in the city, how much time do nurses spend cleaning? What do you know about that? And number 2, what is the best way to make sure staff follow hygiene procedure? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do this activity. Okay, time's up. So with these ideas, we are going to move to the reading passage. This is Harriet Banks. We are going to read something about this woman. It said, I wear a blue uniform because I am a sister, and I am responsible for ward hygiene and the quality of patients' food. My job is to do everything necessary to prevent and control infection, because a lot of infection spreads by hand. I make sure that everyone follows the cleanliness procedures. For example, hands must be washed before and after patient contact, before and after taking off gloves, and after helping a patient use the toilet. I am in charge of ward budgets, and controlling the money means I have real power. Sometimes I refuse to pay cleaning and catering companies if I am not happy with standards. But I do not like to be strict all the time. I like to encourage staff to think about infection and the spread of disease and to lead by setting a good example. I hope you understood the text. Now we are going to answer some questions in relation to the previous reading. Number 1. What is Harriet's rank? What type of hygiene is Harriet Banks especially strict about? Why does Harriet have real power in the hospital? How does Harriet encourage nurses to follow hygiene procedures? And there you have the text. So, again, you will develop this activity on your copybook. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to develop these questions in your copybook. Okay? Let's go. One minute. Time's up. Could you find the answers of these questions in the reading passage? If you did it, fantastic. If you didn't, don't worry, because this is the first activity we do in relation to reading comprehension. And here you have the answers. Her rank is sister. Sister in the language of nurses is the nurse in charge, like the boss of nurses. Number 2, she is responsible for ward hygiene. And number 3, because she is in charge of the ward budget. The question was, why does Harriet have real power in the hospital? Because she is in charge of the ward budget. The budget is the money to pay the other nurses and to buy material for the hygiene procedures. How does Harriet encourage nurses to follow hygiene procedures? She encourages nurses by setting a good example. It is mentioned in the last paragraph. She said, I like to encourage staff to think about infection and the spread of disease and to lead by setting a good example. Okay, that's it. And a final question for you. What, apart from what was already mentioned, is included on a nurse job? Apart from hygiene procedures or protocols, what other activities are related to nurses? Write your answers down on your copybook, please. And that's it for today. Remember that every activity that you are doing at home, you are going to keep it with you until we meet again in the future at school. But if you need feedback or if you have questions, you can write me to my email address. I had to apologize because there were some troubles with the spelling in this presentation. I don't know why they autocorrect the words into Spanish. But again, if you have questions with the words, you can ask me through an email. Okay? And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention, for your work, for your patience, and anything and everything that you are doing right now. That is fantastic. Uh-huh. See you in the next opportunity. Take care. Stay at home. Bye bye.